Hey guys, just want to let you know that this episode is going to be filled with spoilers. We are discussing the movie Clone Tyrone, so maybe pause the episode, go watch the movie, and come back and join us if you don't want to be spoiled. Okay, enjoy.
Roll call.
I'm Sierra, the astounding actress.
I'm Sarah G, the cultural connoisseur.
I'm Frankie Ashen, the portentous professor, and this is Sunkissed Pod.
The podcast that goes there.
Sunkissed Pod is the creative space where we talk about popular media, self-exploration, and the world around us.
Come sit at our table and kiki with the girls and ladies.
Hi guys, long time no see.
Hello.
Long time no see.
Hello.
We had our spring break.
Yeah, we had like a mini spring break. Listen, March was long.
Right.
But I'm glad that we're back together, the crew, and we came here to, to talk about a movie that we all watched during our little spring break. They Clone Tyrone. Yeah. So how are y'all? Well, first of all, how was y'all spring break in general? Like, how have you guys been?
I actually didn't really have a spring break. My spring break is probably coming very soon. So it's just been working. Work, unfortunately. But at least the weather's getting nice, So vitamin D is going to be coming in very soon.
I've been enjoying the sun, turning my face to it like a flower. But the thing is, and this is real mental health hours, any change in the season is enough to have me tweaking. So even if it's like,
Amen.
We're getting into that hot weather, the sun is out more, my body is like, change? Should we freak out? Should we catastrophize everything? So that has been epic lows of spring break. But epic highs, I feel like, especially after a couple of weeks, a month of not having any of my Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, or Sundays because of a responsibility that was emotionally turbulent in the first place. It's nice to finally have like time to myself. Yeah, so
right.
I'm feeling. I'm not numbing.
I'm not numbing. I'm feeling. I like that. I mean, I can like.
What about you, Sarah?
I mean, I kind of relate to like the sun coming out. I'm telling you, when we got that hour back and the next day was Monday, I actually went to the gym. Like, that's how good I felt. But it's been decent. I mean, I've been having like a few health problems that I feel like I'm finally at the end of in March, so I'm feeling just a lot better. And I've just been consuming a lot of...
I'm glad to hear that.
I've been consuming a lot of media and just, watching TV and shit, so... But I'm glad, that we can get back together, sit here and commune. We've been having, like, a lot of some solo episodes and stuff coming out. But it's nice when it's the girls, when the gals are here together. So.
Right.
When the Venn diagram becomes a circle.
For sure.
Huzzah.
So, okay, let's talk about it. They Clone Tyrone. So, for those who don't know, They Clone Tyrone is a movie that came out in 2023. And I'm going to give you a fun little synopsis. And then we're going to talk about the themes of the movies, the visuals, the music, the characters, the message that we got from the movie, and then how the movie relates to our everyday lives, or like 2025 right now, like what messages kind of like felt prevalent to our reality in this moment. So here's a little rundown. Fontaine is the neighborhood drug dealer in Glendale, American Hood. Hardened by the world, he uses violence to maintain his dominance in the drug trade in his neighborhood. One night, he goes to collect money from Slick Charles, the neighborhood pimp, whose best hoe, Yo-Yo, just quit the trade. Unfortunately for Fontaine, after terrorizing Slick Charles, he was murdered by a rival drug dealer, Isaac. That's when things get interesting. As a viewer, we watch Fontaine wake up again in his bed, restarting his day. He goes to his local convenience store, loses the lotto, tips off the drink of the resident drunk, and is on his way to collect his coin for Slick Charles. When Fontaine meets up with Slick Charles, SC is scared because he saw Homeboy get lit up the night before. And he's convinced Fontaine to talk to Yo-Yo to confirm that his ass was murdered. Yo-Yo confirms that he saw him get rocked and saw a black SUV pick his ass up. The trio decided to search for the SUV, which led them to a trap house. When they enter the trap house, they find surveillance videos and an elevator, which leads them underground to a secret base that is where they discover clones of various people in the neighborhood, including the clones of Fontaine and Slick Charles. This leads them on a venture to save the hood and free the people. So that's my little synopsis.
This is a hero's journey. This is a hero's journey. For sure.
The drug dealer, the pimp,
also, I feel like...
and the hoe. All band together.
Oh.
I really went into this movie blind. I knew it was a sci-fi vibe and it was a black film. So when I turned on this film to this like 70s blaxploitation genre, reminiscent of old and new, and just like smart, personable writing, while also sort of being fantastical and exaggerated in a way that keeps you hooked on the plot, but it's also like you feel these folks as they are real people and you want to root for them. So I just enjoyed the tone. Everything about it had me like, I'm paying attention. My neurodivergent ass is actually paying attention. Love that.
Usually I definitely avoid like hood movies because I hate watching black trauma. Like, you're not going to catch me watching a slave movie. And if I do, when I want to go support black media, I'm definitely wanting to support like the black romance movies, or even I supported like the horror. Like I saw Nope, I saw Get Out. Like I'm not against seeing a little violence, but sometimes a hood movie, it feels too real because I know about the statistics and I know about what's going on in our country and how like a lot of hood movies it feels a little too like this is someone's everyday life in Chicago or LA, and like they're really trying to like dodge the bullets and make it home safely, you know? So it just feels a little too real for me to get into. So when I went into this movie in that first like good 30 minutes, I was like, I don't know if I want to watch this. Yeah. Really? Yeah, I don't know. It's just a discomfort because I just feel like it's a little too real for me. Like, I just genuinely think... I remember listening to This American Life series on the prison system in this one city in Chicago. And they went into, like, the juvie system. And they were just talking about these kids who, because of the zip code they live on, like, it feels like their life has been predetermined. They have to watch out for the gangs. School to prison
pipeline.
Yeah, no, truly. And it's like, okay, well, if I don't want to join a gang, but if I don't join the gang's going to harm me. So, like, they find themselves having to make hard decisions in their teenagers. And then I'm following this one kid who, again, he was in a situation where he didn't want to join a gang, but he kind of got forced to join them. And then he did some kind of, like, petty crime. He got sent to juvie because of the type of gang that he was in. The police felt like, okay, you probably know information about that gang. So he started snitching, right? He's a kid. A lawyer who, if he had legal representation, because he didn't really have good legal representation, they would have told him not to do that. Because, unfortunately for him, the gang also runs a juvie. So he was able to kind of stay under the radar for a couple years, but then they find out that he snitched, and now they're harassing this kid, they're beating this kid up. Of course, he's fighting to protect himself, and the juvie is a corrupt system, so even though he's fighting in self-defense, he's getting marked as like a behavioral child. And you get marked multiple times at a certain age, you get put into the adult prison system. So it's just like... That's why I just feel like sometimes hood movies is like, this is a little too real for me. Because there's literally a kid in Chicago, a kid in Bridgeport who, like, because they grew up on the wrong zip code.
Absolutely.
It's a wrap, you know? So that's why it was, at first I'm like, don't want to watch this. But of course, the fact that it came about, like the sci-fi, they're cloning Tyrones, they're cloning Fontaines, and they're putting out these replicas of the drug dealer and the pimp in order to ruin the black community. It's like, oh, okay, this is a movie with a bigger message. And then of course, let's talk about it. It's like, Charles, Jamie Foxx had me dying.
He always steals the show, but we were talking about just a little bit earlier how sometimes it feels like he do be playing the same characters, but the thing is they're so good sometimes that it's just like, all right, speak on this, Fox. All right.
When he said habitual line stepper, these chickens are clucking like they used to. These chickens aren't clucking like they used to is crazy. Why always gotta be black on black crime? Black men are supposed to support they niggas. You sent a ghost to a pimp? Like, it's
my favorite was like the soft diabetes representation. A pimp blood sugar is low. Something, whatever he said, pimp blood sugar is low today. And I said, okay, wait, raise that fist. Disability rights.
I actually put that note too. A pimp blood sugar is falling fast. I can't.
Falling fast.
It's an elevator in a goddamn trap house. Doesn't that make your spidey senses tingle? Like, yes. Why are you going down the elevator? So, no, Jamie Foxx truly had me dying. And then this John Boyega, who played 3-4 different characters in this one movie, had me feeling bad for Clone. Man, when he went into his mama's room and he found the tape recorder, I almost broke for him. Yeah.
No, because they're in, and this is a little bit further into like the themes of this movie, but the concept of isolation and loneliness in your own community, I think that was just the most obvious allusion to that, when you don't even know who's in your home. I mean, reasons why he had a tape recorder of his mom have to do with his status as a clone, but it still was, I think, very evocative for folks who feel very like lonely and having to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and make a way for themselves without that community care that has been struck by, I have to say, white surveillance and white intervention.
Yeah.
So, or governmental intervention, which more often than not has to do with white supremacy. So
very much so.
But not to chat down. Sierra, what was your favorite part of the movie? What do you remember from it the most?
So I legit watched it from the moment it was announced. I saw the trailer pop up for Netflix, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I am so deeply into, I love conspiracy theory type movies. Anything, I thought it was a Jordan Peele movie, so I'm like, oh, you already know I'm in there. Because I'm a huge Jordan Peele fan, hopefully soon to be in one of his movies. But anyway, no, I put it in the atmosphere, right? But I didn't see Jordan Peele's name, so I'm like, I don't know, some white dude talking about black folk again. Like, are we really about to go down this road? But then I looked up the director, and I'm like, oh, you're black, and you wrote Creed 2? Oh, it's a wrap. Let's go.
He was in the writer's room for like a couple of movies that had me like,
Space Jam 2 as well, the second one. Anyway, so I started to watch it, and I was like, oh, y'all are going there. Because from the title, I was like, okay, so this is going to be one of those, like, twist. A lot of symbolism, a lot of, like, oh, they're doing it. And in a way, I think my favorite part, there's so many moments in it. Of course, Jamie Foxx had me cracking up throughout. And I think I think his character is probably to lighten the heaviness, because I feel like if his character wasn't in it, it'd be very heavy and dark throughout the whole thing.
It's like, Paris was holding it down too. Her and her Nancy Drew bits, like.
Yes, she was. Yes. But I will say that I think the part that really stood out to me is when he was talking to the older clone. It was definitely like, I don't know what it was, but it was very eerie. And it was also very like, bro, what? Like, it's like, kind of like it be your own people type situation, you know?
Call coming from inside.
And it still didn't make sense why it was his own people.
But we see it.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe, I know you, why couldn't you just go get therapy? Like, I get you miss your little brother, but like, why are you out here cloning people?
It's like, right. And I mean, with the help of, these colonizers, you know what I'm saying?
So it's just like,
really?
You couldn't beat the system, so you joined the system.
Right.
And not only did you join them, you like seceded.
Yeah.
You got to the top.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I also like, I like behind the scenes stuff. I like to read up and read like articles. And this one article that I actually found, it was The Spectator. And basically at one of the parts of the article, it said, this sentence just kind of gave me chills, I don't know why, but it says that the clones represent how white society wants black people to change while still viewing them as dangerous and inferior. And I'm like, oh, that's deep. So that was the theme that I kind of got from the whole movie, was like, wow, like, you're putting this stuff out to kind of get us to do it, but you're sitting back and watching, like, are they gonna fall for it? Like, you know, it's like dark version of Truman Show, you know?
Fully.
Oh,
there's something about, and it reminds me so much of Get Out, this concept that black people are to be reviled. They are the villain in the story of the heroes, which always has a white face. The hero always has a white face.
Right.
They are to be deified. They are like gods. They're magical. There should be some sort of... It reminds me of... There was like this controversy coming out about a cisgender black woman in high value, high... A lot of people were looking, it might be Olympic, it might be something like that, but like a very high attention sport. And folks were saying that she must be trans because she has the capability and capacity as that of a man.
I do know there was a track star. I don't remember if she was like Kenyan or something. But yeah, she had high testosterone. So she naturally had it recurring in her body. And she was doing well. And they actually came up with a new policy to try to kind of ban her out the sport.
So it's like... We can't even compete against these black people. They're in a whole different thing. And it's kind of like, Jesus. So, you know, they're demonized, deified. But then they're also like, white people want to take that culture and make it their own. And its exoticism is so interesting while also holding none of the consequences of being black. You know, we see these white folks getting alopecia with them box braids and all sorts of things. Let me talk about white rappers. I don't want to hear it in my ears. That's my opinion.
I think about that, like the bastardization of language, you know what I mean? Like how our language, you can't even say, like, I want to say period and feel comfortable saying it and not feel like, you're just trying to get yacht off TikTok, the TikTokification of words. I'm like, no, bitch.
Right.
I'm a black woman. I hang out in black spaces. Or this is how we really talk.
Or even like they just talking to white people and them feeling like, you know, period poo, okay sis, like all that. It's like,
baby,
right, it's like, can
sick.
you maybe not? It's like, oh, I love her down. I'm like, I heard somebody say that today and I was like, please give it a rest. Please.
Give it a rest.
Please.
Make the bed.
It's absolutely like kind of scary
so
when you think about it, because it's just like they put us on like a costume, but then like they villainize us for using those same words or behaving in those same manners. But so you can have box braids and you can say cis and period and you can rap. Like it's actually also, I got to say, side note, the idea that Eminem is considered like a GOAT rapper will always irk me to no, truly, because it's just because he's white. It's just because he's a white boy who's talented. I'm not saying he's not a talented man.
But it's like
ABCDMFG.
Hip hop was created by black people.
What is going on?
What? No, but just like hip hop was created by black people, and a white man's the goat of it. Like, can y'all stop? That's your favorite rapper is a white man because you can relate to him. Are y'all okay? Watch this movie. Like, black people are fed so many messages, right? It's in the chicken, it's in the hair, it's in the church. We gotta talk about the church. Because y'all saw that one video of the pastor.
The pastor.
The audience,
you better call
the shut the doors. So,
that was Marvin Sapp. The way I was like, it was one
Marvin
of them.
Sapp.
Which is so crazy. Marvin Sapp. You're telling me Marvin Sapp, he saw the best in
Close
me?
the doors.
He saw the coin in you, I guess. What in the hell? He saw the... Oh my God. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But like we get all these messages that are that's telling us, that's kind of controlling. Is it controlling us? But I think it is kind of controlling us, controlling the way we interact with each other, controlling the way we interact with the world, and like and these messages do tend to come from white America and do tend to come from white supremacy. The only reason we're perming our hair is because we're told that our natural hair is ugly,
right?
And that it's unprofessional. to have
It's
people
also
there. The only reason, like,
freaking not just unprofessional, but you can be like fined and kicked out of the military for not following dress code, and they just changed that. But like, how many years?
For the longest, the Crown Act. What when was it really officially put into place?
Like,
2018,
up there in the 2010s, which is. What?
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, Sarah.
So I'm
like, right. So that's the perm, the mind control, the grape drink. I know. Crazy too. But like, okay, so you're putting chicken shops and you're giving us food deserts essentially, right? Like there isn't a lot of fresh grocery stores around, but there's always a KFC, there's always a McDonald's, there's always like a Popeyes. So you always have these fast food joints that isn't going to give us the nutritional value that we need. But then you're telling us, oh, well, you need to work harder to be healthy. Like, but you're taking out our grocery stores. And then, like, the church isn't helping. The black church isn't what it used to be. Capitalism has corroded it.
It's a safe place.
You can't tell me it hasn't when you have you're telling your congregation
to
lock the doors.
Go ahead so we can fundraise this, whatever it is. And I think it's also important. We see these different environments in this movie, They Clone Tyrone. We see the chicken shop, we see the hair salon, we see the church, the corner store, all these places. But in particular, I think that the vision of the church that they describe in this movie has a lot to do with our own history of the FBI intervening on black churches for many, many years directly after the civil rights movement. So while all these different countercultures were popping off in the United States in the 1940s, 50s, up into the 60s, the FBI was like, okay, so actually this is causing so much dissent in the American people. We must find a way to literally discredit, disrupt, and destroy. That was J. Edgar Hoover's thesis about this program or programs. This is all having to do with the counterintelligence programs of the 1950s up into the 1970s, where the feds were making it their business to spy on black gathering spaces, the barbershop, the hair salon, the church, where people go to eat in these communities, and literally planting dissent, asking people to snitch on their other organizers in order to be safe from carpet bombing, surprise like rifle shootouts. They would do something as well called I don't remember exactly the term, but the term had something to do with like black bag robbery or a black bag system, something or whatever. And what folks would do is they would break into, and by folks I mean federal agents, would break into these areas of black congregation and steal really important documents. They would steal all sorts of stuff necessary, money, whatever it could be, to make sure that these institutions could not stand, because they knew that to be a place of black organization. And I think this movie does a really beautiful job of making it seem so absurd. Like, how could this even happen? But so deeply, like, show exactly what happened and is happening. Because they said, hey, COINTELPRO was retired, except if I know anything about the FBI, no it ain't. What are you talking about?
The FBI and the CIA stay on their bullshit.
And ICE.
Okay, and ICE.
Homeland Security.
Like,
something that is a department that is younger than me.
If it's an intelligence community, they're surveilling us, and they're extra surveilling the black and brown people. It's never the Proud Boys,
but they did recently get their copyright stolen.
It's never the KKK.
They're working for the FBI. That's why.
No, truly. But also, we want the white supremacists to win. We want them to terrorize people. That's part of, like, that's what we desire. Please go into their neighborhoods. And
right.
So that's what they desire. But no, like, yeah, the movie brought up so many different things, and it was just well acted, well produced, well directed, and so it's just like it was a really good time. And I'm not gonna lie, the chicken scene when they're all eating chicken and then they start laughing. First of all, as someone who's afraid of drugs, the fact that Slick Charles went into that lab and took a lot of white powder, is like, well, let me try this. That's crazy.
The scene.
But thank God he
he
did,
knew.
because it was allow him to pick up that the chicken, something rather right in the seasoning. It was
Right.
but like, y'all are too comfortable eating white powder. That's all I gotta say. And I would do say Tyrone and Paris' character, Yo-Yo, was definitely so underrated. And the fact, I do think it was interesting as the white guy said, I forgot the character's name, but he looked at them, he was like, yeah, we made a copy of the drug dealer and the pimp, but there's always going to be a hoe. So
That white man's name was Nixon. Can you believe, like,
right?
of all the
Nixon.
like
Nixon,
the director,
yes.
the writers, they knew what they were doing. They were.
That was strategic. Yep.
There's always going to be a dime a
Nixons
dozen hoe
are
like you, he says to this woman who cracked the whole fucking thing open, wrote an op-ed, and was
Period. She was on her
fully
Nancy
the
Drew shit.
biggest threat to that operation, and it was like some sort of reverse psychology for him to be like, no, but you're not important. Meanwhile, Nancy Drew, Dora the Explorer. Wait a minute, that's not what I meant. Velma.
She's the reason why they even
Not Dora.
No, but also, like, black women are so vital to the black community, right? Because Fontaine and Slick Charles was ready to be like, no, girl, we're going to have to put down and we're going to fall back.
Right.
Okay, they sent the zombies after us. We're lucky to be alive. And she's like, no, we have to save the people. And Yo-Yo would not give up. And first of all, shout out to her wig.
Period.
Saved her life.
So, listeners, there was a scene in They Clone Tyrone where we have learned throughout the film that there are different substances that these sort of oppressors are using to mind control black folks, whether it be white powder on the chicken, something in the grape, and finally a perm, and that white paste. What they call it?
The
What
music.
they call it? Something crack. They didn't call it in the movie.
Creamy crack.
Yeah, so they massage this perm in her hair as a like, oh, we have to figure out, the ingredients list for this. We got to test it out on people who are unwilling. Let's start with Yo-Yo. And they rub it into her wig. They don't think maybe this big hair that doesn't change shape, voluptuous afro.
Right. Yes.
Maybe this is a wig. And she starts kicking ass after she pretends to pass out from her creamy crack sort of rub down. I didn't like any of those words that came out of my mouth, the way I said that, but it really that's how it makes you feel. It's like, oh, this is gross. But it's just so funny.
But yeah, like Yo-Yo got kidnapped.
Right.
Yes, it was funny. And like she got kidnapped because she wouldn't stop trying to save the people. And she inspired Fontaine to link up with his arch enemy Isaac, who gave an Oscar-winning performance. Okay? Oscar really, because they knew that they were being surveilled. He gave an Oscar-winning performance to trick the surveillance people. I don't know what we call them, the ominous white people.
Right.
OWP.
They tricked them into thinking that Fontaine the clone was once again dead to get him to the facility. And I just think we gotta like shout out to Yo-Yo, because without Yo-Yo, Fontaine wouldn't have had the courage to go back in again.
And doesn't that track to like nowadays where black women show up and do what we were supposed to do, and we take the time, we even go back and we try to pick people up and say, hey guys, listen, this is a problem, everybody's like, I mean, this election is a prime example of black women, not just one black woman, many black women speaking out and saying, hey, this is going to be a problem, and not one person stood with black women. And so it's interesting how a movie back in 2023 is like almost like a prequel to what's about to come, like.
Yeah, no, definitely black women's voices are rarely listened to until after the fact, right? It's like, oh, yeah, we're with you. We listen to you. And even when I think about this election, I mean, like, black men did show up to the polls. And I would say, I think a lot of people try to say, oh, you voted for Kamala because she was black. And it's like, no, honestly, all of her politics don't align with me. I'm a lot more to the left, but I understand harm reduction.
Right.
And that's why I voted for her, because I understood that the lesser of two evils
Yeah.
was the better
That's
option,
right.
and that sucks.
That's right.
Even that, just like the concept of, okay, that one's going to do business as usual, which is imperialism, colonization,
Not
all that
great.
stuff. Black blanket over a white
Right.
sort of vibe. That's what folks were calling Obama. And I mean, hey,
It's that's what
Exactly.
happened.
They're not wrong.
That's what happened.
and
Those
the
aren't
other,
lies.
the other option is fascism. And folks love like
Right.
the
Yeah, a
concept
full-on white
of,
supremacist.
you know what, all the bad things are going to happen to everyone else and I'm going to be lifted up. I mean, it's hard. There's 14%. The 14% of the U.S. population is black people, so it's hard to feel like
Yeah.
we have any power. But when we look at those results and see like black women, like oracles, thought maybe, this one doesn't seem very even constitutional. Even just simply like if we want to do like a merit-based test. One option didn't seem as constitutional as the other, but hey, felon rights. But actually, I do believe that, but also
Yeah.
not that one.
At the end of the day, we listened to what this white man was saying. He said he's going to do this, that, and the third. He lied, but then the people who surrounded him had a whole blueprint saying what they're going to do. And we're like, oh, well, we're going to look at that.
Right.
We're going to watch a quick 30-minute video about that. Oh, that seems like a lot of bad plans. Let's not let that happen.
Right.
And everyone else was like, oh, no, this white man's not going to do that.
Right.
He's not
gonna
going to
save
do it.
our
He's just
groceries.
He knows nothing about it.
He hired all the people who are going to do it.
Oh, he doesn't know anything about that. I don't know anything about it. Your signature's on it.
He's besties
So
with them.
yeah, fully. It's just like They Cloned Tyrone is a perfect look-see into this concept of white surveillance and governmental surveillance over a black populace, over an marginalized and underserved population. And it's this movie that puts it in a comedic light, but at the same time, it's like, this is not so absurd. We're watching something right in front of us, how much the status quo
That's right.
is more powerful than standing up for what is right. Intervening in a situation that is so obviously detrimental to all parties, even the party of white folks in this magical pretend movie that has no allusions to reality at all. Wink. Even the white individuals that were holding all this power, you could see these like caricatures of themselves walking along, talking about how cool they think black culture is. There's nothing of their own. There's no soul of their own. There's literally white people with afros messing up with their hair,
Which is
messing with their
crazy.
hair, trying to emulate when there's no truth.
I thought, like, is that a light-skinned person?
I
I don't know.
I thought it was
Are you sure
a
they're
light-skinned
white?
person at first, and then they kept saying like the white dude with the afro, and I was like, I really
The afro.
It's
really
crazy.
It's like, oh,
I don't know, but it wasn't. Oop. Okay. So just They Clone Tyrone. It's not too mystical. It's not too magical after all, and I think that's the part of a reason why I really enjoyed it, because it wasn't just here have and I mentioned this in the past, have a blaxploitation film, which is a subgenre in the 70s, having a lot to do with an independently made for us by us film. So black folks with not a lot of budget said, let's put us in the center. And especially in the case of Yo-Yo, let's put black women at the center as proactive, changing forces rather than love interests or side characters. So it wasn't just like a play on that, a play on Shaft, Foxy Brown, whatever. It was a direct, like, I felt like the director was looking me in the eyes the whole time. I don't, like, fully.
yes.
He's like,
No, that's so true.
giving like the hello shrug. So
You get it?
Do you get it? Do you get it? And it didn't feel overbearing. It was just enough.
Is it clicking?
Yes. No, it really was
Right,
a great film. So, mind control. The messages that we're getting every day in media, like, do you think, what do you feel like are some, whether they're platforms, artists, or like media that people are consuming that just gives like, oh, mind control. It's giving the chicken at the chicken shop. It's giving grape drink. It's giving creamy crack.
I can name one that I was just fussing about today. Bad Girls Club.
Oh no.
Bad Girls Club or
Baby.
Baddies.
Zeus?
Zeus specifically?
Shut down the whole network. Shut down the whole network.
I'll say Bad
Find
Girls
everybody.
Club. Bad Girls Club was a cultural reset, and not for the right reason. Like,
no, Natalie Nun, a menace.
And I mean,
long chin menace.
You know what's wild about that? A lot, and this is why I say, I'm like, what do they put in these shows that gets us to be so like consumed, right? Because you have somebody like Natalie Nun who has actually made horrific comments towards dark-skinned women on multiple occasions, and yet you see a lot of dark-skinned women and light-skinned women on the show, and I'm just like, she has disrespected a specific shade of Black women, and we are still consuming. We are still giving her a platform. And I'm just like, how in the world? She's made comments about people's weight and a lot of fat phobia. She even made a lot of homophobic comments in the past. So it's just like, what? Like, how do we glaze over that? Like, what's in the juice?
What's in the juice? And it felt like she went away, and then Zeus Network came back with a theory.
It's so random.
It came back with a whole fucking theory.
It's like,
oh my god.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was
Zeus Network.
Yeah.
Okay, baddies.
Right.
Baddies West, baddies East,
All
baddies
of it.
South.
And
they gotta fight.
Yeah.
That's like the name of the game. It's like, listen, it's one thing if I'm fighting because we're actually in an argument, but it feels like I gotta fight for my supper in general, and that's crazy behavior.
You don't get paid unless you fight. I'm like, what? That's insane.
Destroying business left and right.
Give
crazy.
them what they want to see, and we'll pay you. Give them the paying audience what they want to see from Black people, from you monkeys, you animals. This is exactly what they want to see. So people will put so much money in it just to have it out there. And I'm sure, similar to the movie itself, there are so many people behind the scenes that are like, perfect. This is the image of Blackness that we want to proliferate, which is, girl.
That part.
Also, I just looked up.
But there's even some highbrow.
Very quickly, Natalie Nun is a Capricorn. F my life. But you can see how she is so entrepreneurial.
Good look for you.
Though you can see how she's getting her coin.
Nope.
No, I mean, like,
we're not doing this.
We're is not just ridiculous. Using those Capricorn wiles for evil.
Capricorns, evil. That's the message. Capricorns, fighters.
That's funny.
Capricorns, long chins. That's the message. I'm sorry. Your chin is actually normal size.
You heard her.
You have
she
a
said,
great
actually,
chin.
I'm scared.
Okay. Is she a January Capricorn or a December Capricorn?
She's a December Capricorn.
Oh, baby.
She's a
December Capricorn.
Anyway.
See, I would have thought January
December?
because she seems crazy.
Okay.
And December Capricorns are a little more conniving, silent, and deadly.
That's rough. That's rough. I'm sad that she's on your team.
My God.
But I have to say, my girl Kenya Moore is on my team as an Aquarius, and she just did something so fucking unhinged that, as I'm saying, like, creamy crack is also can be highbrow.
Right.
Because we have the Real Housewives of Atlanta and Married to Medicine. And
I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Before I get into Real Housewives of Atlanta, Married to Medicine is about a group of Black doctors with occasionally some white people in Atlanta, and Dr. Heavenly the dentist, or as we call her, the dentist, the menace the dentist. Anyway, she is wild as fuck, and the way that I'm so addicted is like these housewife shows, they kind of numb your mind so your tolerance level is high. Because tell me why I'm not mad at Kenya for low-key participating in revenge porn.
Now hold on.
Okay, like, listen.
What am I hearing?
So listen, Brits
oh boy
threaten Kenya's life with a pistol.
Right.
And then Kenya took it to hell
Yeah.
and found her porn picture.
Okay, that's,
She
a,
went
that's a
past
different
hell.
thing.
And
of like,
showed,
you want to
and
threaten my
show-
life?
yeah, so it was on the internet allegedly, but the point is, she went too far.
Yes.
And I want to be like, no, Kenya, no. But
gonna
that
say.
creamy crack of reality TV, that sometimes it just numbs your brain
does.
to crazy shit. Like in normal life, of course, that's terrible.
Right.
Revenge porn, who does
Right.
that? Doesn't matter if that was out in the internet. You don't do that at your event.
That's right.
Show it to a crowd of people to embarrass her. But also, I'm like, well, that bitch just said she was going to get you with a pistol and a whip. Like, don't start none, won't be none.
FAFO.
FAFO.
So, like, even if it's not Zeus, it's Bravo. I'm training my mind to just have a low tolerance for
Yes.
crazy ass bullshit.
Yeah.
Like in Married to Medicine, you have these doctors screaming at each other. One girl's like, "Your husband has biracial children," which is crazy shit to say. But he doesn't. But like the fact that they act like that was an insult
listen.
was crazy.
My
I was
ass
like,
over here like,
but now they're
but
both
that's what I was
black. This couple's a
imagining.
black couple. So the woman was alleging your husband was cheating on you, and it's like not only with a white woman, but they had kids and they biracial. Like that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, that's my creamy crack. And then the gender wars.
Oh,
Maybe.
the balloons.
The black, straight,
oh.
no, gender wars in general. Black heterosexual women and men, we go
I can't
through.
relate.
Okay. The way
Literally.
every other week, we on Dreads, we on Instagram, we on X, fighting for our fucking lives, trying to convince each other, like, no, it's the men's problem. No, it's the women's
It's
problem. The
exhausting.
last gender war shit I just saw was actually insane. This woman was crying. It's clear that she's pregnant. She has 3 kids. She's crying about she's tired of motherhood, right? This woman's pregnant. Tell me why her baby daddy or her husband was videotaping her and posted on the internet to complain about her.
What?
Oh, you see, she said she don't want her kids anymore. You can tell this woman's having a
The
mental
hormones
breakdown.
of pregnancy is crazy.
And
too.
she's not talking to the kids. She's talking to her husband. She's kind of crashing out just to her husband. It's not like the kids are around, and hopefully the kid's gonna hear her. But you know what I mean? Like, but he thought, instead of comforting my wife
clout.
or comforting my partner, let me take a video and post it on the internet to shame her. And that's what, like, the gender wars, we're in shackles. Like, we got Pop the Balloon. People are going on a dating show called Pop the Balloon, where a man or a woman steps up to the plate. There's a row of people. They're all got, the row of people got balloons in their hands. And then you are telling this person why you popped their balloon. Or the person who popped the balloon, they're telling you why I popped my balloon. And it's crazy. People getting balloon pops because they
And
don't like the way
balloon
your
pop
shoes
is,
look.
They're not dating you. They're not interested. In
Yeah, the balloon, if I pop my balloon, it's like, nigga, stay away from me. I don't
Because I
want
saw a
you.
clip on
or-
TikTok that was like a woman with this beautiful, deep voice came up. And immediately, as soon as she spoke, every man popped their balloon. And I was like, what is the point of this show other than to show the wily nature of these Negroes? And that, like, it's just like, aren't y'all embarrassed? Like, are you for real?
It got a Netflix deal. It's going on Netflix. Creamy crack.
Listen, I get it. They have full softcore, on the freaking Ultimatum. So I'm like, what else? What else do you want to add to the reality TV diaspora?
By the way, bring back the Ultimatum Queer Love, because that was a really good reality show. I
That was
actually
deep
enjoyed
in
every
there.
second of it. So because let me tell you something about the queer people. They were bringing it. The straights.
All right,
are
now we're
boring.
talking. All right, say it louder.
The straights are boring. They're like, when Mal was, I forgot, when Mal was like, I forgot, one of my favorite line was Mal was yelling at Yuri, you want people to die for you? Like, the way Mal, I was like, inject that into my veins. And then Yuri and Xander, the way they were staring into each other's
scared.
eyes,
That had
I'm
me
like, y'all,
I knew that twink was gonna
y'all.
be an issue.
The way they, and then for them not to even end up together, all the shit they were doing, For them, they act like they never had love before.
That's what
the way they were
happens
acting.
when you starve reality TV folks and you give them alcohol all day in those little opaque glasses that who knows what's in that alcohol. I think I know. I think I can feel it in my bones. The way everyone's inhibitions are lowered. They have the creamy crack up in there. But there's so many things that are introduced to entertain, distract, and make us complacent, not only just as, in American people, but as Black people in particular. And I feel like we see that in these things that are like, here's diversity, and it's like the exact stereotypes that had people making human zoos to look at Black people and point and stare, and all the, like, I mean, other than the enslavement stuff as well, but like the concept of truly sitting down and being like, look at them, look at how different they are, the themes of surveillance started in this movie right off the bat with that opening shot of all these Black folks loitering around the corner store, and there was an ad behind them of white eyes, sort of giving us that Great Gatsby like glasses theme. And I feel like there are so many things that contribute to that feeling of surveillance turned into mind control. We haven't brought it up, but like the Breakfast Club in general, it's in the notes, I'm seeing it, and I'm just like, why do you pull up to the Breakfast Club knowing, if you're a Black woman, that you are about to be humiliated, whipped, and like all of these things, and then we eat it up?
Baby, first of all, Charlamagne the God is not a journalist, and he is not a political pundit. He does not speak to the Black. The fact that he's been positioned as a political pundit, it really hurts my fucking soul. This man's a buffoon. Okay, and though, listen, I show up to the Breakfast Club. I used to be an avid Breakfast Club watcher. Again, the creamy crack got me. When Ray J used to go on there, baby, I was seated because that nigga is funny. Okay, but I weaned off. The creamy crack. But occasionally I pop in, like when they were talking to Wendy Williams. By the way, free Wendy. Period. But then the Lauren LaRosa and Jess Hilarious, who isn't very hilarious. I'm
Just
sorry,
hilarious.
she's not. She's transphobic.
Minstrels say
Listen,
what? Anyway.
period. Embarrassing. But I know we're supposed to pretend like she's hilarious. No, she's just transphobic.
She's a plant.
And it's
She's a
sad.
plant.
She's a loser. She's a plant. She's a clone, guys.
Ooh.
The one Black woman they
now
are
that's a
cloning.
game to play. Who are the clones?
What?
Sexy Red, Kevin Hart,
Who are the clones?
and Jess Hilarious.
Okay,
How do we feel
why
about
Kevin
Clone
Hart?
Shay?
That's so funny.
That feels clone-like.
Y'all go ahead.
Shannon Sharp. Okay, Shannon Sharp isn't a good interviewer, but do I enjoy watching him with certain guests?
I was kikiing. But
okay,
I'm like,
yes.
oh my god. Oh well, Cat Williams.
Kiki. I loved Amanda Seales when she was like,
Yes.
"My mom is not white." That shit took
But
me
he's the
out.
type of interviewer
That shit took
where
me out.
he really needs the guest to take control.
You don't listen.
That's the
Yes.
litmus test for the success of the episode if the guest takes control. Which is like, not good for you.
Yeah, so believe it or not, I actually like the creamy crack of Club Shay Shay. I thoroughly
Which is
enjoy
fine.
it.
No, like, judgment.
Only
Just
because I think, because I watched him when he did like the sports casting and stuff like that. So like it was like me and my dad, we used to sit and watch him go back and forth with Skip. So like,
yeah.
to me that was like our bonding thing.
Bayless,
so like I always call him Unc because I think it's so funny. I'm like, oh, Unc's on. Do you see Unc's new episode?
Yeah, white people are calling him
Child.
Unc. Oh my god, they take everything.
Child. Oh my god.
They take
Just
they
like
taking
Shucking
everything.
and
Anyway,
Driving, I was done. Anyway,
I'm
I
like,
just can't.
lock them up.
This is a word from our sponsor.
Wait,
AKA Black folk.
That's our next movie, Dear White People, which is an actual movie. If y'all
I
don't know.
actually
And I
watched the
watched the
movie,
show.
read the book. We can talk about the show.
But
We can
I'm
talk
sorry,
about it
I got
all.
off track. I'm sorry.
Anyway,
Yes.
But,
No, don't worry.
So I actually enjoy the Kevin Hart one. That is my most favorite. The Kevin Hart one, like that. I mean, Kevin Hart. Lord have mercy. No. Cat Williams. Cat Williams.
Yes.
The Cat Williams one was my.
2025 is the year the truth is exposed, and I was there, sat, I was listening to him.
The one with Cat Williams, that was my top favorite because he had Uncle Quiet. Okay, he was like he didn't know what to ask. He was like, I don't know where to go. You know. So, and that's why I say Kevin Hart's a plant. Because listen. Before Cat Williams said what he said, I told my dad, circa 2015, I said, Dad, I think it's so weird that Kevin Hart literally came out of nowhere and he is like skyrocketed
I will say,
into this.
in
like,
Kevin's
stardom.
defense, I remember him on BET. I used to watch The Real Husbands of Hollywood, which was like a mockumentary. Yeah,
I
but
used
I
to
think
watch
they
that
just
too.
let few black people win. And he's not the funniest. Like, he stopped being funny after what
No.
movie? There was one movie, like, he had one good movie.
Think
Think
like
like
a man.
you thought he was funny. You think
Like
he was
her.
funny and think like a man?
I
Okay,
thought he was
okay,
funny and think like a
okay.
man. That was it, and that's saying something. 'Cause that's
No, yes.
trash.
Listen. Yeah. But okay, so Kevin, definitely a plant. Definitely a chosen Negro. He's not like Will Smith chosen Negro, who's actually talented, and they will never like. I will never, ever hate Will Smith. You will never see me out here hating on Will Smith. Nope. Bye, Frankie. Right out to turn off your mic. Okay? I don't hate Will Smith. I don't hate Jada Pinkett Smith. I'm a Pinkett Smith for lifer. Okay?
Oh yeah. Okay.
No. If y'all
I'll say it.
hate Jada
Okay,
Pinkett
I'm gonna
Smith,
say
you're
it.
misogynist.
I think Will Smith is DL, and he's terrorizing those around him.
I don't think he's
because of it.
DL. I don't think he's DL. I just
don't think he is
think,
either.
first of all, people are illiterate because this man said they weren't together when she hung out with August Arceel. They were not together. He also made it clear that he also had multiple relationships during that time. However, the people he had multiple relationships were quiet. August had felt the need to tell his story. Okay,
Out and about.
so Jada Pinkett didn't, and Jada Pinkett, remember,
Right.
she sacrificed her career to have his kids and to uphold his vision. Okay, and he admitted himself that he had a vision to be the best Hollywood producer, actor in the goddamn world, and he sacrificed his kids and his wife to do it. And sacrifice meaning like he kind of put them in a box and kind of forced them to follow through with his dream, and all
Put
of them
in
rebelled.
supporting character roles.
But I still love me some Will Smith. But that's in defense of Jada Pinkett Smith, because y'all can't be out here hating on Jada Pinkett for no reason. She did not cheat on that man. She held that man.
I didn't say
I know.
nothing.
She held that man
I
down.
don't know
Okay.
why- See, that's not why.
Why
I'm
you
not
not? Okay, no what? This is
Okay.
not about Jada Pinkett Smith. Okay, is there any other creamy crack stories? Is there any other moments that
Hey.
scream creamy crack before we wrap this up?
Sorry.
I cannot think of any creamy crack that I other than the overarching concept.
Yeah.
Oh,
Popeyes is definitely creamy crack.
crispy
Yeah.
chick. That's Burger King. Never mind.
Yeah.
Sorry.
If
your dog
people
Sorry.
go to Burger King, they hate themselves. But Popeyes can get it.
What?
Popeyes has got, to me, there's more breading. than
You like
chicken,
Burger King?
and the Popeyes brand.
Oh,
no!
You-
I
wait,
was,
you don't
I was
like
saying
Popeyes?
crispy chicken, and then I
You don't
thought,
like Popeyes?
oh,
Okay,
that's Burger
listen.
King.
Do I go to
I do not like Popeyes
what?
either.
Okay, I don't go often. But Popeyes is good. Like what? What are we talking- I haven't been in months.
The branding is giving like dance, Negro,
Oh
dance.
my god.
That's just
No.
what I think.
Listen. Listen, I have been released of the shackles of Papa.
Okay. On that note,
All right, up next, you too should be released from the shackles of heterosexuality. All right, who put that in there?
That was Frankie. Ignore her, guys. Unless you want to be, then live your best life. Anyway, we're gonna let you go. Stay woke forever and always, and also watch your back because they're watching you. And investigate the creamy crack in your life. That's all I gotta say. Okay, we're all sipping on some creamy crack. We're all putting some creamy crack in our hair. Investigate the things that we put in our minds and things that we listen to and the media that we watch. You know, you can enjoy things. You're allowed to enjoy things. But if you find yourself arguing with soccer moms about certain housewives, maybe you lost the plot. Just an idea.
Period.
Okay.
That's a quote.
We're gonna let you go. Bye.
Bye. Stay curious.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you for listening to the Sunkissed Pod.
You can find the Sunkissed Pod on Spotify and Apple.
And you can join us on Instagram at the Sunkissed Pod to stay up to date on the girls and the ladies.
Ta-ta.